Welcome for a quick recap of Week 8 in the BiddieCast. Sean, it's been a wild week, both the games, injuries, other crazy NFL news. How are you doing?
I mean, we were just kind of going through the power rankings. This has been a really wild week. Some teams are just tumbling.
Absolutely.
And then there's still a big jumble at the top of the standings. And then this NFL week has just wreaked havoc on teams once again.
Injuries, lots of other crazy things happening. But how about we get into the games and talk about these games for the past week?
Let's do it. First game of the week.
Yeah,
Double D.
Big upset, I think.
Couldn't come up with the win versus AAA, which is a minor league affiliate of Anton Mariani. So why did the AAA affiliate beat this team that we had ranked number 1 just a week and a half ago?
Double D didn't show up. His team didn't show up. Getting 4 points from Justin Jefferson. 10 points from Goddard. His team had a lot of guys on byes. Lamar Jackson on a bye. Ravens D on a bye. Henry Ruggs was on a bye. We could talk about Henry Ruggs in a little bit here, but his team just didn't show up. This was maybe his bye week apocalypse, but Anton squeezes out a small victory, a game that I don't know.
And then here's your highest scoring team of the week, the Muppets, taken to the bitches.
Yeah. So what do you like about your team? What did you do well here?
I really like Tyreek Hill, but the surprise here was Michael Carter. He's the one that put it over the top, and he was a really good grad for me. I felt like he always had a lot of potential. I was just worried about the Jets being the Jets. But it shows that he's starting to perform a little bit better each week, and I think he could be a regular 30-point scorer in the league.
That remains to be seen, but go back real quick. I just want to point out that you're probably very happy with Jalen Waddle's numbers before that.
Oh, very nice. No, but I was actually quite upset with that.
Yeah.
The household matchup. Bend It Like Beckham takes it to the Buffalo Angela team as they continue their stumble down the power rankings as well as the standings.
Yeah, you look at this team, you look at first number that pops out to you is Chris Godwin, 30 points, right? You think, oh, she's in line for a big game, but she didn't get much scoring outside of that. Big loose egg from Rob Gronkowski, who played like 5 snaps, and then he was done for the rest of the game. Baker Mayfield, another disappointing game. Jalen Hurts, she's really struggling in the quarterback position. She doesn't really have any week in, week out solid choices. So this might be a long time.
And the UK Bills, the highest scoring team in the league, shows why they're the highest scoring team in the league, getting the second most points this week and beating the itty bitty TE by committee, who they keep putting up points, but they just can't seem to get those wins.
Yeah, and the UK Bills, you said it right, highest scoring team in the league. They're up in the top of their division for a reason. They're scoring a lot of points. 10-point victory here against Itty Bitty by committee. But you're right, yeah. Committee is getting some big games, but he's just getting outscored.
And then the Knob Slobbers against the Killer Tomatoes. I don't think we could have predicted it any better.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly as advertised.
Yeah, when you look back at Killer Tomatoes, you're like, what's wrong with this team? There's so many things wrong with this team. He's not getting.
You can start with Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah, you're not getting a lot of points. 134. I'm sure that's a great outcome for me, but for me to get 134 and beat him by almost 50 points. I'm curious if Bob's left alone.
It's a tough road ahead for him for sure. looking at the standings, like I said, some teams are starting to drop down. Rob still somehow in it with 2 wins though. Just one behind both Paul and Anton. And Ben too. So we have 3 and 5 teams, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3 teams. Can it be any tighter than this?
That's what she said. No, I mean this is crazy. This is close. We're halfway through the season here. We still got the second half to go. It's gonna be a real interesting game. Rest of the season rather. One thing I do want to point out is everybody, with the exception of Rob, per ESPN, has at least a 30% chance to make the playoffs. So still a lot to play for.
I don't know how that adds up.
I don't know. He's got a 0% chance.
I don't know how those numbers really add up, but
yeah, I mean they're probably doing their playoff calculations the same way they have that Watson do the trade. Garbage.
The BiddieCast injury report this week. We could talk about a lot of things.
A lot of big injuries. I mean, we'll start with the big one, right?
Yeah. Well, this isn't the big one. We'll get to that in a moment. But Jameis Winston out for the season. He didn't seem it last night after his team upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was having a good time though. That's what I always liked about Jameis. The Muppets will miss him, but I do believe he's been dropped from the roster.
Yeah, I mean, are the Muppets going to miss him from a production standpoint? Never really did all that great for you guys this season. Couple games here and there.
And thankfully, this is only a 10-team league where there's quarterbacks available on waivers. And I'm not really too worried about it. But will it have an impact on other Saints players? Michael Thomas coming back. You also have Alvin Kamara to think of.
Sure.
Like the Saints offense could either spark or sputter based on Trevor Siemian's performance.
Yeah, if that's the go-to guy, if Trevor Siemian's going to be the guy, or if Taysom Hill, I mean, who knows? But it'd be interesting to watch for sure.
And then our second guy here, Derrick Henry, also out for the year.
Yeah, I mean it's devastating. You really got to think about. I mean, he's the number one back in the game. He's got to be top 5, top 3 in points for fantasy football. He might come back. He might be back towards the end of the season or for the playoffs if the Titans sneak in. I don't know what kind of fantasy impact he'll have at that point. Anyways, getting along to this week's power rankings. We alluded to it earlier that in the games we went over, there have been some changes in the standings, and thus there have been changes in the power rankings according to yours truly. So take it away, Sean. Who do we have at the bottom there?
Well, who do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise here. Nothing changes here. Killer Tomatoes. I mean, do we even need to talk about it anymore?
I mean,
he knows why he's there.
There is one thing I do want to say. That this team is historically bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we've had a team ever to lose so many by so much. It's actually really entertaining to watch. So, and I know Rob loves entertaining, especially on TikTok. And so I think there's going to be a lot of good videos that you could do on TikTok about losing this stuff.
Yeah, so like maybe things that you're required to do.
It's funny. It's really funny, and you should take advantage of that.
Is he like the Texans of this league? There's just
no. The Texans of the league is Paul.
Oh, he's the Lions because I get it.
Yeah, because the Lions are absolutely dreadful.
Right, and Paul. High hope for It's My Year, bitches. I think in a previous episode I said that they were going to be the team that I was going to kind of ride all year, but man, have they fallen from grace?
Well, I think they've had a lot of bad luck, and I'm going back to the standings here just to check on points for. Yeah, they're fourth in the league in points.
They're scoring points.
I don't know. I do remember a couple of years ago in Jordan's Yahoo League, I scored the most points in the league and I missed the playoffs.
Sucks to suck.
Right. And I mean it's just terrible luck. And I think he's experiencing a lot of that.
Yeah, well, rightfully so. Then Anton's moving up in the. I mean, he's not saying much who he's in front of, right?
Oh, he used to
But he's
be
moving up the
in
ranks.
ninth, and
Yeah.
I think he was in 10th in one of the shows too.
Right.
Even below Killer Tomatoes, which is hard to believe now. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait to look back on some of these BiddieCasts and just be like, oh man, I wish you knew then what I know now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it would change everything.
Sure would.
And Anton's team is steadily creeping up. I've always thought that he's had a decent team. But he suffered a few tough losses to begin the season, and now we're in the top 7. I think we have that cluster of 5-3 teams, or I think we do have 1 4-4 in there. But I think Anton's probably cream of the crop of the basement.
Itty Bitty is a team that we both agreed was a top 3 top qualifier here, based on their roster. And I mean, they get a win last week, but back in the losing column again this week. What's going on with Itty Bitty?
Second in the league for points for. They've scored almost 1,200 points. The problem is they've also had 1,200 points against them.
Yeah.
So again, and this week was a great example. Let me see if I can just scroll back real fast. To Itty Bitty. Here they are. Again, what can you do? You put up 152 points during the bye weeks. That's an excellent score during the bye weeks.
Sure.
But it just wasn't enough to beat the UK Bills. So I mean, I think he's just getting beat by other teams. It's sort of like when you have that really high power offense but you don't have that defense. And unfortunately, defense is all luck now, especially with the refs.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. We'll see if he can turn it around. Buffalo Angela.
Yeah, here's one that's taken a tumble.
Yeah. First place for so long. And then a couple weeks, couple losses. A couple losses where her team didn't really show up at all.
Yeah.
She had the lowest score this week.
I remember beginning the season, she was first in points.
Yeah.
And now she's third from last.
Oof.
So the last couple weeks have really taken some damage, injuries, buys. We'll see if she can get it back on track and get in the top 5.
Yep. Just ahead of her, the man who took her down this past week, her own husband, Bend It Like Beckham, in the top 5, falling a little bit. He was in the top 3 for a while here, still in the top 5 though. And then right above him, Muppets. Muppets is a pleasant surprise there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that after this week's performance, putting up the most points, I should probably be in the top 3, but it's really crowded up here.
Sure.
And so being 4 now, it doesn't matter to me. It's what the final one is.
Absolutely. Double D. I had him number 1 in the last few weeks here, and he's fallen down.
Yeah. Ever since he took that crown, I think he's lost 3 in a row. No, he lost 2 in a row. I'm sorry, because the first loss of the season was to me, and then he's just lost 2 in a row ever since he's been at the top. Bye weeks killed him 1 week, and I think this week he just killed himself.
Yep.
Here's a pleasant surprise for you. Leapfrogging everyone to top 2.
I don't agree with this. I just want a fair disclosure here to let millions and millions of BiddieCast fans who are watching this right now know that UK Bills and I, Knob Slobbers, were both ranked at the same 1.5.
Totally unbiased for you, right?
I mean, I've won 5 in a row. I mean, who's better than how can you put a team that's the hottest team anyways? And then Sean was like, who should be at the top? I'm like, well, I've won 5 in a row. I'm the highest team in the league. I should be at top. He goes, nope, I'm not gonna do that. And then he's like, he said, because I mean, I get it. UK Bills has scored more points. ESPN puts him ahead of me. It's fair. I get it. I'm just saying I don't agree with that. I think I should be up there because, I mean, can't touch me right now. He's won 3 in a row. I won 5 in a row. Five bigger than three last time I checked.
You're 108 points behind the UK Bills.
Hey, it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win.
He's got as many wins as you.
Right, but I won 5 in a row.
What's that worth? Is that worth anything?
I'm happy to be where I'm at because it was looking bleak in the first 3 weeks of the season. I started 0-3. So I'm just happy to
your 5 wins in a row aren't worth anything around here.
No.
All right. I didn't update this.
I think it's 21-18. I think I had a good week, but you had one better than me.
Yeah. 21-18 now. It's getting closer.
Yeah, you're closing the gap.
Who are you taking? Muppets or Tomatoes?
I mean,
yeah. Next game.
I don't even think at this point in time, I think we should just omit whoever's playing Tomatoes and just be like the guaranteed win.
Well, no, we've had some of those years, and I'm glad Rob's sticking through this. The last thing we want to see is a week where his bench would have scored and he just didn't decide to start them. So because that could help determine playoff rankings and push someone out. So
sure.
Yeah, keep setting that lineup.
But yeah, he's not going to win. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say again, I don't think he's going to score 100 points this week.
All right. Bitches or Angela?
I believe I went with Angela. Yeah, I think Angela's going to right the ship here. Get a win over a disappointing bitches team.
Yeah, you and I differ in opinion on this one. I think Paul still has a really good team. Angela's got a lot of injuries and things going on with that roster. So I think Paul puts up enough points to get another win, a much needed win. Anton versus Bend It Like Beckham. And you know what? I've started enjoying talking about this. What's Anton going to change his name to? Bend It Like Anton?
Something stupid, probably. Is there another soccer movie that's got a weird name? I don't know.
You going with Anton, though?
No. Did I? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you did.
Sure. Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Wait, yeah. I'm double checking this. You did not mark that game.
Oh, okay.
So well, yeah, you're going with Anton.
I'm going with Bend It. I'll mark it right now. I'm going with Bend It.
All right, I am too. Here's the game of the week. Double D, UK Bills.
I don't remember who I picked. If I had to wager a guess, I'd say UK Bills. Yeah, UK Bills again, top scoring team in the league. Double D is kind of on a slide here. I think it'll be competitive. I think Double D will right the ship and score some points here, but I don't think it'll be enough for UK to overpower UK.
Yeah, you totally messed up how you reported all that stuff.
What do you mean?
I'm just looking at you chose both Double D and the UK Bills. But
maybe I'm guessing a tie.
All right.
No, I'm going with
you. Yeah, if it's a tie, I'm not doing the BiddieCast anymore. I'm just quitting. I'm putting all my money on whatever color you say on the roulette wheel.
Okay.
Cash only. No Bitcoin. All right, last game.
I mean, we know
you don't pick against yourself.
Never
but you know what? I'm not either.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I really do like Ben's team. I think he's just been through the gauntlet this year, and I think there's a good chance that he goes through another gauntlet next week. But you know what? I think this is the game of the week, because I do think Ben's team should be a top 5 team. I think it's going to be very high scoring and interesting to watch.
Yeah, and he beat me earlier in the year, so I'm going to avenge an earlier loss. And Ben, if you're watching this, you want to wager? I'm all ears, man. Let me know what you want to wager. You want to losers got to shave everything off but a mustache? Let me know.
That's
If
kind of
you're
what I'm
man
going
enough.
for. I'm actually going more for like the Johnny Depp look.
I like it. Players to
Um,
watch.
yeah, I'm going with AP this week. I would have loved to find a picture of him in a Titans uniform, but yeah, he's always impressed. I think he's always stayed healthy, and for the most part, and I think a lot of that has to do with the workout regimen. You see Tom Brady doing that stuff, and he's stayed healthy for God knows how long. And a bunch of other athletes have done it too. I'm sure you've seen the whole story um, about all their training regimens and how it keeps them in prime physical condition. AP follows something similar, so I'm really interested to see how he's going to perform in the Tennessee offense. Maybe not this week, but next week.
Fair enough. I'm going with you can't see half of him
Is
here,
that
but
Doug Flutie?
that is Trevor Simeon. And
Kevin Costner?
Taysom. That guy does like Kevin Costner a little bit. Kevin Costner and Taysom Hill, or I'm sorry, Trevor Simeon and Taysom Hill. Of course, Simeon played pretty well in relief for Jameis Winston last week. Um, I don't know what Saints plan to do. Are they going to start Simeon full time and run Taysom Hill in there as a gadget player? Is Taysom Hill going to? Who knows? But I mean, that team's right there in the division, right? They're one game. They just beat the Bucks. They're I think one game behind in the division, the NFC South there. So should be interesting to see what happens going forward with whomever the quarterback for the Saints is.
Talking points.
Yeah, yeah.
Get into yours first.
Henry Ruggs. I mean, he's top 10 wide receiver, probably fantasy, maybe top 15. Big made a big mistake. Got behind the wheel after partying and drinking and killed somebody. His career is over. So if you have him in fantasy, you might want to think about getting rid of him. Yeah, just stupid mistake on his end. Killed someone, took someone's life, and affecting the rest of his life. He might be in jail for 20 years. So I don't know if you want to hold on to him for that time. If you want to, you can, but I wouldn't suggest.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that happened, and it's a reminder that it can really happen to anyone. No doubt, I don't know the evidence, but I can't imagine that this was a purposeful attack or anything like that. I think this is probably just an accident. Um, and I feel for the victims of this, and I also feel for Henry Ruggs too, to an extent, knowing that that's got to be a huge weight on his shoulders, knowing that he's going to be serving jail time for something that many of us have done at some point.
Sure.
I would say the majority of Americans at some point have done this, and it could happen to anyone, and it's just a reminder that it could happen to you. And yeah. I can't imagine the weight on either shoulders, and so my heart goes out to both families.
Yeah, very well put. Got a little tear to my eye. It's good.
Oh, thank you. And then getting into the trade snooze line.
Yeah, nothing big of interest. I mean, if you have the Rams defense, yeah, if you have the Rams defense, of course, getting Von Miller there is I don't think it's going to make a huge change to the Rams scoring on the fantasy, but certainly I don't know if you have the Rams as a Super Bowl favorite, that helps them for sure. But I mean, no big trades. I mean, there's a lot of hype that Bills are going to make some sort of trade with. I mean, there's Deshaun Watson. I mean, was he going to get traded to Miami? Was he not? Clearly, he ends up not getting traded, and he has been. Funny story. I had Deshaun Watson in all 5 of my fantasy leagues this year because I figure if he comes back, he's a top 5 fantasy quarterback. I had the ability where I was never really struggling in my lineup, where I needed to get rid of him. I just every time I had him in my active roster, and then as soon as he was out, I threw him on the IR. But now knowing that he didn't get traded, he's not playing for Houston, so I got rid of him in all my leagues. But yeah, a lot of big hype for today. Nothing happened. I
Man,
thought
am I
maybe,
glad that we expanded IR.
yeah. I think Noah Font just got COVID, so he's out of the. I got to find a tight end now, but yeah, it should be interesting. This the trade deadline. I don't know do we have a trade deadline in this league? Is that like November 20 something ish?
Yeah, I think it's before Thanksgiving.
Okay. I would wanted the Bills to trade for Cordell Patterson. Would have loved that move, but
meh. He's been on so many teams and they couldn't use him.
yeah, but he's on Atlanta now, and they figured out how to use him. You mimic that. You mimic what he's.
Yeah, but do you want to change your whole playbook half the year?
I don't think you'd change the whole playbook. The guy comes in and he learns. You trade for the guy because you have confidence he'll be able to learn your playbook and fit in your scheme. Maybe the Bills didn't think that, so maybe they were in your line of thinking. I don't know.
Yeah, did they have confidence in
right.
Billy Joe Hobart?
Oh, that's a name. But yeah, so the trade deadline was depressing. Not depressing. I guess it was depressing because of the Henry Ruggs news, but it was boring. Nothing really happened. Nothing came of it. Kind of funny. I mean, that's how the NFL trade deadline was for years. Nothing ever happened, and then I feel like within the last like 5-6 years, teams started making trades. And the Bills, Brandon Bean loved making trades at the deadline, so I was a little surprised to make one this time. But yeah.
Before we wrap up the show, I want to make an observation. You guys waste no time getting rid of Halloween decorations.
I mean, there's still some. There's
I just see bins
stuff.
and bins, and I see Halloween decorations on top of those bins, so I'm guessing those bins are for Halloween decorations.
Yeah, sure are. We're progressing into a more fall-like setup, and then I think Christmas will probably happen within the next couple of weeks. I'd be lying if I didn't say that there was some Christmas music that happened in the household a couple times. You roll your eyes, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, we don't waste too much time.
We'll catch you next week on the BiddieCast again.
Yes. Have a good week, everybody. Go Bills. And
go Sabres.